come out and support us. Rochester against war. Rochester Red
They gave me a
Flag,
job.
Green Party. Like it's your fucking any other ones that I may have forgotten. Thank you guys. Also a special thanks to national groups such as the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the EFF, Panda, Stop Watching Us, and all the other ones that are helping us in this movement. And most importantly, thank all of you guys for coming out today.
They gave the shortest girl the camera. This is not a good idea.
So go ahead and give you guys a round of applause. A little bit about myself. My name is Dan Cole. I'm a lifelong resident of Rochester. Graduated from U of R 2 years ago. And I've only just recently started getting politically active. But yeah, I thought this issue was of vital importance, so I decided to help organize this event along with Kevin Wilson here.
Yay!
Tim Dean, who's back at the park. You've already heard him speak a little. And Kelly Citron of Panda, who couldn't make it out today. Thank you. So Restore the Fourth, as you may know, is a nationwide grassroots, nonpartisan movement that seeks to replace current unconstitutional, warrantless surveillance with an accountable and transparent system in line with America's core principles as laid out in the Constitution. The current policy of store data first, ask for a warrant later, is simply unacceptable. And those politicians in support of these surveillance programs don't understand the concept of due process or probable cause and are in violation of their oath to protect and uphold the Constitution. Many people seem to have forgotten their history and don't recognize the clear unconstitutionality of PRISM, the NSA surveillance state, and secret interpretation of laws.
Oh no.
If we take a look back on history to see what garnered support for these ideas originally, we can better understand what the founders feared. The Excise Act of 1754 gave tax collectors unlimited powers to interrogate colonists concerning their use of goods subject to customs and permitted the use of a general warrant, sound familiar? Known as a writ of assistance, allowing them to search the homes of colonists and seize prohibited and uncustomed goods. In 1761, James Otis, a representative of merchants, took the matter to court denouncing the use of general warrants. John Adams, who was present in the courtroom, viewed this event as the spark which originated the American Revolution. The founders of this country understood the danger of general warrants and the danger they pose to individual liberty and the importance of requiring specific evidence to search or seize a person's property. The Virginia Declaration of Rights states, rightly so, that general warrants are both grievous and oppressive to the American people.
Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Some Americans have not forgotten the purpose of the Fourth Amendment. Together, we're showing the nation and the world that Americans will stand up for what they believe is right, that we will once again fight for freedom, for human rights, and for justice, that people of widely different ideologies come together to stand for what they believe in, that no matter how much the powers that be try to divide us, we, the people, will never back down from speaking the truth and fighting for what is right. Together we can restore this nation to what it was originally intended to be, a beacon of freedom and respect for the rights of the individual. Together we can take back this country and restore the Fourth. I'm going to end with a quote. Don't laugh because it's from Captain America. It doesn't matter what the press says. It doesn't matter what the politicians or the mob say. It doesn't matter if the whole country decides that something wrong is something right. This nation was founded on one principle above all else, the requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move. Yeah! And now for our second speaker, Kevin Wilson.
Yay! Yay!
Wells College. Super active in the community.
Yay, Kevin!
And he's going to be speaking on the Fourth Amendment and a little bit about local privacy issues and
All right! Thank you all for being here. So great to see such a diverse crowd here. Conservatives, liberals, Greens, socialists, Tea Partiers, anarchists, and more, all united together. So we can restore the Fourth Amendment. Restore the Fourth is here to demand an end to unconstitutional spying on American citizens and ensure that all government surveillance is constitutional, limited, and clearly defined. Our goals are as follows. Conduct a congressional hearing and a criminal investigation into the extent and constitutionality of domestic surveillance programs. Do it now! Right now. Right. Enact reform to the USA Patriot Act. Section 215, the state secrets privilege, and the FISA's Amendment Act to make clear that blanket surveillance of the internet activity and phone records of any person residing in the U.S. is prohibited by law, and that violations can be reviewed in adversarial proceedings before a public court. Number 3, hold those involved in government surveillance programs accountable through stringent and transparent judicial oversight. 4, create an independent and transparent supervisory body to ensure that government surveillance activities are constitutional. Number 5, remove the liar James Clapper from the Director of National Intelligence. Incarceration!
Yes.
We have a petition going around. It'll be back at the Washington Square Park that you can sign that states these goals. We're going to send them to our federal representatives. Make sure you sign that. We need to let them know how we feel. We need to let them know that this is not okay. Now, a lot of you are here because of a man named Edward Snowden. Now, we have to be careful not to get distracted and make the story about him. We have to remind the media that the story is about our privacy, it's about our rights. Snowden is a messenger, shining light on the dark secrets of the national security state, a catalyst driving us to action, a nucleus urging all of us to combat intrusive practices that stifle dissent, and we need to protect whistleblowers. Bring these illegal programs to America. Now, a lot of people will say, well, it's fine if we collect metadata if it presents terrorism. Alright. Yeah. We're not terrorists. Okay. We're fine with surveillance that's specific and limited as outlined by the Fourth Amendment. But we will not allow fear to consume us. Privacy protection, due process, and the rule of law keep our society safe and free. We will not be scared into giving up our constitutional rights. Now, don't fool yourself into thinking we can just put new people in office. Let's not hope that the next person will do better.
Accountability starts with you.
We need to hold their feet to the fire.
Yes.
We, the people of Restore the Fourth, don't want empty promises. We want results.
There's really nothing.
We need to take these unconstitutional powers away from the government so no one can abuse them.
That's right. There you go.
We need to pass laws in Congress. We need to get active against Fourth Amendment infringement at the state and local level too. Nullify federal laws and rein in abuses of state and local police forces.
Yes.
So are we going to let the federal government destroy the Fourth Amendment? No! Are we going to let New York State violate our privacy? No! Are we okay with local collaborators infringing on our liberty? No! So what are we going to do?
Save America.
Save America. We're going to restore the Fourth.
Restore the Fourth. Restore the Fourth.
Restore the Fourth. Restore the Fourth. Restore the Fourth. Restore the Fourth. Restore the Fourth. All right. One more thing to say, I promise. It's important that we we, everyone here together, join together in the future, if for no other reason to ensure that we maintain our ability to dissent and criticize our government when our leaders have gone astray. It's essential for preserving not just privacy, but all of our rights. Second Amendment, free speech, due process, and more. I hope this is the start of many great partnerships to come. Together, we can save the Republic. Thank you.
What do you think of it all?
And now I'd like to introduce Lori Thomas. She was born in Batavia, Rochester at a young age, served 18 years as an environmental services operator for the city of Rochester, and then went back to school for teaching. She has her master's degree in education from Nazareth, and currently she is running for a school board under the Green Party line. Everyone give Lori a hand.
Yay!
It's inevitable.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes!
I'm a teacher. Good morning, everyone, and happy 4th of July.
Morning.
We come together each year to celebrate independence from the control of the British. What we don't realize is we have sold our freedom to the wealthy, and we are no longer independent, but enslaved to a dehumanizing, classist system of intimidation and subservience.
Long time ago.
On 3 separate occasions, the Rochester police entered my home without cause or warrant, and twice illegally searched my home. On May 1st, 2013, Mr. Benny Ward was illegally searched, then beaten and arrested by Rochester police while waiting for a bus in his motorized wheelchair.
Yes, it was.
You assemble here today to bring back the 4th in opposition to the Patriot Act, when unpatriotic acts are taking place right here in Rochester and go unnoticed and unanswered. We live in a city where the police must take an oath to protect and serve the public and maintain an attitude of integrity. And yet we allow them to dishonor their oath by intimidating and insulting the citizens of Rochester without accountability. How much investigation must be done when a video recording and multiple witnesses are a testament to the injustices done to Mr. Ward? If this attitude of arrogance is ignored by the citizens, then it will be supported by corrupt leadership that refuses to bring the violators to justice.
Where we're at.
If the apple
That's
is
now.
bad,
It's not coming. That's right now.
that's right. And if an apple is bad, do we live in a barrel to spoil the whole lot? No. If our leaders had integrity, they would want to expel the bad apples from their ranks so that the public they are sworn to protect us and serve us can be confident in their safety and respecting of their protectors. Yes. At this point, the mayor, the police chief, the officers involved, but most importantly, the citizens of Rochester must all be called to question for the incompetent handling of this situation.
Yeah!
When we do not come together to love one another, we remain separated by hate. When we allow the human rights of one to be violated, we accept the violation of everyone's human rights.
Yeah!
We must stand together against the hate, loving each other because each other is what we have. Loving this earth because it's all we have. Yes, we have a constitution, but we also have a spirit, an energy, a spirit that unites everything on this planet, and our spirit, our connectedness, okay, supersedes the Constitution. Fight, but fight for humanity. Not for a piece of paper that gives us the right to be human.
It acknowledges your right. It doesn't give it to you. You were born with that right.
We have that right to be human.
That's right.
We shouldn't be fighting for that. We should be fighting for the right for humanity.
Amen.
Okay? Understand that we are one and we can only evolve as one. They want us to revolve in revolution. We need to evolve as one people. To paraphrase a powerful statement that came out of World War II, the only thing the corporate machine needs to thrive is for American citizens to do nothing.
Yeah.
But once we realize and understand that our collective voice is more powerful than the money that they've collected, we can start demanding integrity in politics and in our political leaders. We must come together with one voice and demand excellence from our leaders, or elect leaders that have shown excellence. We must demand with one voice that our political leaders stop acting patriotic and become the voice of the American people that they were elected to be.
Yes!
We must demand with one voice the removal of corporate dollars from government offices.
Yes!
And we must demand with one voice the excellent education of our children.
Yes!
And when we demand with one voice, we command with one voice. And that is when America becomes the nation that it was supposed to be. My name is Lori Thomas, and I'm running for School Board Commissioner. Vote green, row F, one voice, one world. One voice, one world, one love. Thank you.
Vote green, not the machine.
Doug Noble here?
Doug Noble's here.
Doug.
Good to see you over there. All right, our next speaker, as you might guess, is Doug Noble. An author and long-term activist affiliated with Rochester Against War, Metro Justice, Rebels, and the State Coalition, the Ground Patrol.
I tried.
The Fourth Amendment because uncontrolled search and seizure, as in Nazi Germany, undermines the population, crushing the spirit and putting terror in every heart. It must be stopped.
Yeah.
I just want to start by saying today's July 4th, our country's birthday. Yesterday, July 3rd, was the birthday of Julian Assange of WikiLeaks, and coincidentally, Franz Kafka. Jonathan Schell recently described America's new surveillance net this way. A school of fish swims peacefully in the ocean. Out of sight, a net is spread beneath it. At the edges of the net is a circle of fishing boats. Suddenly, the fishermen yank up the edges of the net, and in an instant, the calm open ocean becomes a boiling cauldron, an exitless, rapidly shrinking prison in which the fish thrash in vain for freedom and life. As the son of a Jewish father in Warsaw, Poland, my recurring nightmare finds me desperately running through the dark streets, fleeing Gestapo jackboots determined to stifle my freedom and my life. So for me, the Fourth Amendment is less about surveillance and illegal searches, however important, than about, quote, the right to be secure against unreasonable, warrantless seizure of my very person. The frightening erosion of this most fundamental right, presumably protected by the Fourth Amendment, is my focus here. Before I discuss more chilling violations of the Fourth Amendment, I want to point out how we lack its protection in some of the most common circumstances of our everyday lives, often with dire consequences. Schools. The Supreme Court recently determined that random, suspicionless searches and detentions of students are allowed by the Constitution in public schools, since the warrant and probable cause requirement of the Fourth Amendment, quote, this is Anthony Scalia quoting, would unduly interfere with the maintenance of swift and informal disciplinary procedures, undercutting the substantial need of teachers and administrators for freedom to maintain order in the schools. So forget the Fourth Amendment in schools, shopping malls and workplaces. Protections of the Fourth Amendment do not extend to illegal searches and seizures by non-governmental agents. Essentially, individuals may be subject to unreasonable and otherwise illegal search and seizure at the hands of a host of private actors, such as landlords, employers, store employees, and private security guards.
It's real terrible. I have shaky hand syndrome. I'm sorry.
Police in this country. Mall security guards routinely engage in profiling or other constitutionally suspect behavior when searching or detaining suspect shoppers. Since these are not government agents, the Fourth Amendment does not apply. Police stop and frisk. Stop and frisk has been an exception to the Fourth Amendment since the 1968 Perry v. Ohio case, when the Supreme Court drew dubious distinction between a stop and an arrest, and between a frisk and a search. A stop is clearly a seizure of a person, yet one that is deemed justified if the police detect what they consider suspicious behavior. And people, of course, in high crime and minority populations and neighborhoods are stopped and frisked far more disproportionately. Once again, the Fourth Amendment does not apply. Even more chillingly, Immigration and Customs officers in ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement teams, conducting immigration raids are routinely violating the Fourth Amendment. 7-member teams of ICE agents across the country regularly makes house calls, usually in pre-dawn hours, in SWAT-like raids with shotguns, automatic rifles, sometimes crawling through open windows. In place of search warrants by a judge, which the Fourth Amendment would require, ICE agents carry administrative warrants issued by one of their own. The raids are supposed to be aimed at fugitive illegal immigrants who have committed criminal acts, but they're regularly used to rope up non-criminal, undocumented workers. One study that examined 700 arrests between 2006 and 2008 in Long Island, New Jersey, found 2/3 of the arrests were circumstantial, happenstance. They were mostly of Latinos whose only crime was a civil one of working here illegally. Many ICE agents also have been quoted. Here in upstate New York, raids by ICE teams take place regularly at our bus stations, our train stations, and even at churches on Sunday morning. On any given day, there are 33,000 people detained by ICE, all in violation of the Fourth Amendment. They spend an average of 26.5 days behind bars, and many of those beds are run by private security organizations like corporations like Corrections Corporation of America. The frantic families of those picked up frequently have no idea where their disappeared loved ones is being detained, often 100 miles away, at places like Batavia Detention Center, and there's a big rally there on July 30th. I'll send something out.
I'll send something out.
A report from Detention Watch Network found detainees held on immigration charges frequently get thrown into isolation for weeks, etc., etc., etc. All this constitutes yet another egregious devastation
Those people that were being detained, American citizens.
of our Fourth American Amendment rights. National Defense Authorization Act. With chilling consequences for all Americans, Obama's recently renewed NDAA now authorizes detainment of persons captured within the United States of America without charge or trial.
That's not authorized by law in this country.
The federal government can imprison any person who is part of or substantially supported Al-Qaeda, Taliban, or associate forces that are engaged in hostilities against the United States and its focused partners. The NDAA also authorizes the use of military tribunals for persons captured within the U.S. In the military tribunals, as was the case with the medieval Inquisition, the prosecution can introduce into evidence confessions obtained through torture and also secret evidence unavailable to the accused. In these proceedings, virtually every basic right is ignored. Among other rights, the proceedings violate the Fourth Amendment right to exclude evidence obtained through torture or other unlawful means. The warrantless detention and year-long solitary confinement of Bradley Manning and his military commission trial now taking place in Fort Meade in Maryland offer a sobering depiction of what may lie in store for the likes of Edward Snowden and the rest of us under the NDAA. I'm just about done. It goes without saying that a warrant was never issued by a neutral magistrate for the arrest of the Guantanamo detainees. Recent WikiLeaks documents have demonstrated how random the roundup of innocent Guantanamo detainees really was, often involving bounty payoffs and false accusations. These extrajudicial seizures themselves, as well as the regular use of evidence obtained for torture, are a flagrant violation of the Fourth Amendment. Finally, as an anti-drone activist, I must also mention that the extrajudicial warrantless assassination of American citizens by weaponized drones is perhaps the most profound violation of their Fourth Amendment right to be secure in their person. To conclude, this litany of wholesale evisceration of the Fourth Amendment should worry everyone. Justice Robert H. Jackson, former Chief United States Prosecutor at the Nuremberg trials, wrote in 1941, "Uncontrolled search and seizure is one of the first and most effective weapons in the arsenal of every arbitrary government. Among deprivations of rights, none is so effective in cowing a population, crushing the spirit of the individual, and putting terror in every heart. Restore the fortune."